Phoenix here, bringing you guys Premier League strikers tier list, the proper one, the official one. I wish I had a little bit more time to make all these tier lists, so in the future people can come back and look at these videos as being the one and the only correct list. As always, anything you disagree with, just let me know. But it does seem like we've come to a mutual understanding, it seems like, right? We're agreeing a lot more than maybe we were in the past. And I feel like with this one, you guys are going to see the light and see the actual proper list. Now, the conditions, of course, you can do multiple ones. You know, how do you rank these? For me, it's always a very simple one. Like, it's the easiest one. Some people don't like it, but it's how it should be done when you're doing any kind of tier list. You take a 3-year period and you rank the players accordingly over those 3 years. And whether you want to do consecutive 3 years or whether you want to pick the 3 years and not make them consecutive, whatever, it's fine. But this is, I believe, the one and only accurate list. So it was supposed to be top 10, but as you can see here, it's ended up 17. I just wanted to highlight these 17 players. Now, you'll see some here, we're not going to go through all of them, that I don't think are strikers. This is pure and only number 9s. We'll begin at 17, Jamie Vardy. I see him ranked higher. I feel like a lot of people usually take into consideration what he accomplished with Leicester and the fact that obviously he won a Premier League title that will likely always be the one that will be remembered the most. But for me, I look at players. I compare players. I don't let that type of stuff affect me. 17 is more than sensible for Jamie Vardy. At number 16 comes the first surprise in inverted commas. Because at number 16, I've got Robin van Persie. How can you have him that low? This and that. Of course, if you take the 3-year period, you know, that final year at Arsenal, first year at Manchester United, unbelievable seasons. But again, the fact of the matter is I'm comparing his players. Van Persie was incredibly overrated. He needed the team to work completely towards him in order for him to succeed. Like, he couldn't bring the best out of other players. That's a fact. Manchester United won the league the first year with him, in his first season, with him being the finisher, right? You know, he's the guy finishing all the chances and this and that. As soon as United required him and couldn't provide him with that service continually, Van Persie dropped completely. And for me, 16 is a fair number. At number 15, Carlos Tevez. What pains me with Tevez is I don't think in the Premier League he achieved what he really should have achieved. You can criticize that move to City, this and that. Fantastic player. Unbelievable. Shows more so his time at Juventus. What he was doing was incredible. So it pains me to some degree put him this low. But again, when you factor 3 years, fantastic at United, especially the final season at United, by the way, because people forget Ronaldo wasn't the same Ronaldo as the previous 2 seasons. Rooney wasn't either. It was Tevez that carried that year. So much respect to him for that. But unfortunately, I just couldn't push him any higher. Then I've got a player who, in my opinion, is the most disrespected striker. He doesn't even feature in some of these lists. Diego Costa. The 2 Premier League titles in 3 seasons, one with Jose, one with Conte. Both of those years, unplayable. Again, you compare player with player. He maybe didn't have the skill and the class that most of these other players in this list have. Nasty. Could give it to anyone. Just the type of guy you'd want on your team. And obviously, this is only Premier League because his time at Atletico as well was absolutely fantastic. Diego Costa, start putting respect on his name. At number 13, most of you will be a little bit too young to remember Robbie Fowler. Madre mia. We were saying mid-90s when he came in, took over from Ian Rush basically, made it his team, dropping 30 plus goals in all competitions for I think it was 3 years in a row. Just disgusting numbers. Sadistic striker, I call him. You know, Costa nasty, Fowler sadistic in front of the net. he was a killer, a bona fide killer. And left-footed players, they have a little bit extra. But again, the difference between him and Van Persie for me, why I got Fowler ahead of Van Persie. Fowler could make others also shine. Like, it wasn't like, oh, everything has to go through him. Fowler, when he came in, partnered with anyone. Obviously, then Owen came in and took over after. And if it wasn't for the injuries, I think he'd be even higher in this list. At number 12, another Liverpool striker, El Nino Fernando Torres. He was the best. It was the best striker in the league for me for a couple of seasons when he came in. A joy to watch. It caused problems for any defender. Again, that move to Chelsea, you look back, but it was a bit before that. It was that injury. When you have a player as explosive as Torres, and it'd be a common theme, like injuries. Like, as soon as they get that type of injury, their level will decline. Although I think his time at Chelsea was a little bit overhated. But of course, this is over a 3-year period. And Torres with Gerrard, madre mia, que jugador. Wow. And the variety in his goals as well. Like, he could do everything. Obviously, not Suarez level, but he could do everything. His movement, his space in behind, and his finishing. Just an absolute joy to watch. At number 11, another disrespected, underrated striker, Andy Cole. Again, maybe a little bit too young for some of you guys, but talking mid-90s, like his time at Newcastle. Look at those numbers. His time at Newcastle, 30 plus goals in one season. But more than that, talk about making others better. Andy Cole, he as ruthless as he was in front of the net, this guy, he made others better. I think it was that same season he had like 10 plus assists in the same year. I mean, we're talking about, and obviously then his partnership with Yorkie is famously known, but put some respect on this guy's name. It's absolutely crazy. Honestly, these kids these days, man. Instead of watching TikToks over all these freaking attention-seeking females, go watch some freaking Andy Cole TikTok highlights. Then you freaking see a little bit. Because the amount of disrespect I see. Most of these strikers, by the way, Haaland aside nowadays, they pick up Isaac. With respect to Isaac, if Isaac is as good as you make it, imagine Andy Cole. Newcastle fans, you can attest to that. The ones that remember. My God, man. What's the comparison? How much would Andy Cole go for if Isaac's worth 130 million? It's crazy. Alas. At number 10, another player who, maybe, according to many, I'm disrespecting, Didier Drogba. I fully attest, right? Like, obviously, very unique here. Like, I mean, on his day, he was absolutely unplayable. My problem is on his day, right? Because, yeah, he got outscored by freaking Lampard, I mean, like a midfielder, who took penalties and stuff, but Chelsea played with one striker. He was the one striker, sure, excellent at bringing others into play, but he wasn't as clinical for me. He wasn't as ruthless as some of these others. And like I said, I think number 10 is very fair when you see the players I'm going to put in front of him. At number 9, I've got Michael Owen. We talked, of course, like I said, we've mentioned the injuries. Michael, for me, to win the 2 golden boots and under 20 years of age, it is a what if. It's 100% one of the biggest what ifs. The pace that he had, his movement, and his finishing. Like, his finishing, both feet. It's no coincidence he won a Ballon d'Or. And in my opinion, it could have gone to Raul, but Michael Owen, at number 9, over a 3-year period, without a shadow of a doubt. Fantastic player. At number 8, I've got Ruud van Nistelrooy. Why is this guy not put comfortably top 10? I don't get it. Some people have him outside of their top 10. Are you freaking mad? Are you crazy? Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, sure. Lived in the box. You could say him and Van Persie, what I said for Van Persie, that couldn't bring others into play. But Van Nistelrooy, inside the box, there are no comparisons. Like, unbelievable. And ice cold as well. ice in his veins type of striker. Madre mia che jugador. And then I see United fans putting Van Persie ahead of Van Nistelrooy. Come the hell on. Are you crazy? When United won the league 02-03, that was basically going up against peak Arsenal. And Van Nistelrooy absolutely carried that season. And he continued, of course, for several years, even going to Real Madrid. I know it's Premier League, but I want to mention his time at Real Madrid being disrespected, winning back-to-back La Liga titles. Come on, man. Show some freaking respect. Top 5 time. At number 5. Or, sorry, what am I talking top 5? We still have a couple more in the 6, 7. At number 7. This one is tough, eh? Like, I thought about it, and this one is tough. Like, where does Kane rank? Because, of course, one of Kane's main strengths is longevity. So, if this is done over 3 years, I do believe number 7 is fair. And it seems to me like he's leveled up, right, at Bayern. I kind of figured that he'll be that type of striker, kind of a la Benzema, a la Lewandowski, that he'll get better and better with age. So if we only focus, like I said, take a 3-year period, whatever it was, 17, 20, if you don't want to do them consecutively, even until the very end, let's be honest, that Spurs, the numbers speak for themselves. And of course, a difference between Kane and many of these others is his ability to also bring the others into play. I mean, that connection with Son and even Dele Alli was absolutely world class. And yeah, I mean, his legacy, I think when all is said and done, I don't think his time at the Premier League is finished, mind you. I do think he could come back, although there's that Barcelona proposition. We'll see what happens. But Harry Kane, number 7. At number 6, Sergio Aguero. What a joy to watch. And a very unique type of striker. Because again, killer inside the box. But in that City team, he also had to do a lot more. And the level of Aguero, let's not forget, like when Haaland came in, I mean, obviously, the infamous Pep, we cannot replace him. But obviously, it took an alien to replace him. But a lot of City fans also still have that affiliation towards Aguero because of also what he could do outside the box in tight spaces. I've never seen John Terry struggle so much against a striker. And for me, John Terry is the greatest of all time, centre-back-wise, in the Premier League. So, wow. That's all you have to say. At top 5 now. Number 5. Wayne Rooney. Him and Aguero, I always go back and forth on. Like, this is a number 9's list. But Wassa was special. He was, obviously, could do everything. But with Rooney, what I feel a lot of people look at when he first broke through at Everton. And then obviously what he done with Ronaldo, Tevez and whatnot. And his selfless work rate. But for me, where Wayne Rooney shines is when Ronaldo left, when Tevez left, and all the pressure is now on Rooney. In a, by the way, already declining United team, in my opinion, especially relative to that Chelsea team, which I thought was stronger. And United are still able to win the league titles they did in that period. And obviously he was close to leaving and whatnot. The level that he was playing those years, to put his team on his back, that's what I'm like, okay, even though you don't want to really play striker, like even though you're a lot more than that, if you need to, hang on a minute, this is Rooney, So full credit, an absolute joy to watch. And his attitude, top notch, killer. Top 4, at number 4, Alan Shearer. Obviously, if you're taking a 3-year period, you take those 3 years between Blackburn, maybe first at Newcastle, 30 plus goals every single campaign. And again, what people don't remember is that injury again. Like if it wasn't for that, we lost a bit of pace. Like Shearer was prime Shearer. He was quick. He was very quick. And obviously inside the box, the different quality and finishing. And something that we lost a little bit with strikers these days, the ability to head the ball, man. I mean, you look at all these players here. Obviously, you have Drogba, Van Nistelrooy could head a ball, but Shearer was on a completely different level to basically anybody in this list. And that's why he's the top scorer in Premier League history. So, what's your top 3 then, 04? You know what's coming. At number 3, you know my love for this man. Again, we're doing it over a 3 3-year period. He played with absolute losers, honestly. Some of those players he was playing with, Lord have mercy, especially when he first arrived at Liverpool. The variety in goals. He could do anything. Listen, I'll reveal it for you guys, because the top three, we can't talk about just one person without comparing them together, because I need to compare these three together. You know what's coming, because I told you Haaland's number one 3 years ago. I told you he's number one. So I was just waiting for the 3-year period to come to an end in order to rank these. How do you split these three? Suarez is better than Henry if you factor everything, right? Like factor his Barca time, he's obviously better than Henry, because look what Henry done when he went to Barca. Look at what Suarez done when he went to Barca. But if we're talking only Premier League, I got Suarez 3, simply because, again, unfortunately for him, that the players that he played with, and also, yeah, like it was basically 2.5 years. With Henry, you have that 3-year period where, of course, unplayable. So just because of that, I've got TT ahead of Suarez. And of course, with TT, he's unique in this list because his speed and dribbling combined, there's nobody else in this list that gets anywhere near Henry when you combine those two. But the reason Henry cannot be number one, Henry wasn't a killer. He'll tell you himself he wasn't a killer. He was too nice. Yes, he scored all those goals that he scored, but he was too nice. The guy at number one, I would like to debate any Arsenal fan or any fan or any football fan, whatever, who genuinely thinks Henry is better than Haaland. There is no manager in world football, if given the choice, I always tell you guys, use this comparison. E.T. gets an army of aliens, they invade us, and the only way to save humanity is by beating them in a football game. And you get given an option between Haaland or prime Thierry Henry. I'm sorry, if you pick prime Thierry Henry ahead of Haaland, the human species will cease to exist. And obviously the scary thing with Haaland is he can get even better. I do think the current Haaland that we're looking at, even though he scored 36 goals in his first season in the Premier League, is better. They always said, oh, but what about Haaland outside the box? Yeah, he couldn't do what Henry could do. But look at how much he's improving in that regard. His hold-up play, bringing others into play. That is leveling up. For me, he's number one undisputed. I would love to know what you guys would change in this list. And I'm open to debate anybody that argues that Haaland is not number one. We're talking about a robot. For me, Haaland, right? Like all of Van Nistelrooy's qualities that I said. But then you add the speed on top of that. The speed that he has and the ruthlessness that he has. That's what a striker ultimately is. Like, that is what a striker. And his ability to also, I mentioned Shearer's ability to head the ball. He's not that level, but he's improving in that as well. He's everything you want in a number 9. That's my list. Argue, debate. I freaking dare you.